Okay, so we are doing the last program of the series, which was the Harness the Mindset series. So we believe that for innovation and for entrepreneurship and leadership, it all starts from the mindset. And that's why we put these four programs together. The first program, we focused on the Z to A mindset. August 15, we talked about the journey to excellence. September 5, we talked about audacity to dream big. And this is the last one, which is the relentless pursuit of excellence. What do you think, Mubashir? How are you feeling after these three programs? And this is the last program.
I think it's a good foundation, and absolutely, mindset is a very, very important element in any transformation journey. You have to want it, you have to want to have it, have a strong desire to get something before you move forward on the journey to get it. So yeah, starting with the mindset, its importance, and then dreaming big. And today, a very important session about how to get about and go about getting there.
So the word to remember is the word relentless. And we'll talk more about this word relentless. Relentless means no stopping, just keep going. Pursuit of excellence. So keep pursuing excellence. And excellence, we talked extensively about excellence, the word excellence, the best of the best. Um, and and you achieve excellence by this relentless pursuit. I like to start with a little story of Dyson, Mr. James Dyson, or Sir James Dyson, as they call him. Um, so, Moshe, tell us about the story of James Dyson and how that story fits into the picture of innovation, entrepreneurship, leadership, and at the end, this excellence that we are talking about.
Mhm. It's actually one of my favorite stories as well, because it is above all, it's a testament to perseverance and grit, and relentlessly pursuing your dream. So as it happens, and I have read his autobiography a few years ago as well. James Dyson was doing vacuum cleaning using the then popular Hoover vacuum cleaners one day, and he noticed that the suction of his vacuum cleaner just dropped and it wasn't picking up enough dirt. So he opened it and he found out that there was the bag and it was clogged with the thin layer of dust. He cleaned it and then started again, and then found out that again, after a couple of minutes, its suction dropped, and which made sense because the dust particles were starting to block the efficacy of it by having a layer on the bags. So Dyson started thinking about how he can improve it. And he made 5,127 different prototypes. And he
Wow.
saw a concept in a sawmill where there was a kind of an inverted cone in which the air would go. So he used that as a cyclone principle where the air goes faster and faster and the dirt falls down, i.e., therefore, there is no bag required. But the key thing is that he spent 5 years, 5,127 prototypes, and he made his vacuum cleaner. But that's not the key thing. The key thing is that when he made it, he had nobody was willing to manufacture his vacuum cleaner because A, they didn't want to upset the big player Hoover of that time, and B, the bags were a good cash cow. They were able to sell bags again and again, not thinking about how much frustration the customer goes through. So Dyson initially was able to sell his vacuum cleaner to some extent in Japan and overseas market. It took another 15 years before he would have some success. Uh, and when he finally made his own company and his own research and development facilities, then there was some final success and some money coming into his pocket. So why is this an interesting story? Dyson is currently valued at around 16 billion pounds. He is, if not the richest man in Britain, he is one of the richest men in Britain, and all self-made. And he persevered for the 5 years while he was building his prototype, and then 15 years while he was creating his company and the infrastructure and the manufacturing facilities, because nobody wanted to build his vacuum cleaners. He had to do it himself, while being supported by his wife, who was an art teacher. So these guys didn't have that much money, and he was in debt as well. But I really, really think that that says something, that if you really believe in what you are working towards, you take on board good feedback, understand where things are, and etc., but not to be deterred by powerful opposition or difficulties in the pathway or having some hurdles. You work around those hurdles, you keep on persistently with perseverance and grit moving forwards, as Numani said, with the relentless pursuit of your dream.
Well, this is a fantastic story of Sir James Dyson, and
And
there.
I just also mentioned, sorry, just remembered, in 2017, the same guy who couldn't afford things and was somewhat reliant on his wife's support, and together they made it work. In 2017, Sir James Dyson was spending 7 million pounds per week, 7 million pounds per week for research and development in his company.
Wow, wow. This is huge, because this guy has a passion. He had a dream, and he made a decision to follow his dream, and then he made it happen. And this is the story of excellence. Every single story, if you take the story of Amazon, if you take the story of Microsoft, if you take the story of Edie, if you take the story of Mother Teresa, you're going to see the same ingredients in those stories. And this is why it's so important for us to follow these stories and understand what is behind. And and for this reason, I want to go back to those 5 steps of excellence. So the first 2 steps, we've been talking about this throughout our series, is the first 2 steps about developing the big dream. And last time we talked extensively about how to develop the dream and how to take that decision. So it's about the big dream. It's about the direction. It's about the leadership. These are the 2 steps for the leadership uh, and effectiveness of your dream, okay, of your life, of what the thing that you're trying to do. This is the purpose. This is where you're going. And if you don't have that, it is very difficult for you to achieve excellence. But then at the same time, for you to achieve that excellence, you have to follow the next 3 steps, which is focus, execution, and perseverance. And these 3 steps is about efficiency, management, and speed. And when you combine big dream with a relentless pursuit, you achieve excellence. And this is the whole formula, that where it seems simple, but when you are in that in the weeds, when you're in that situation, um, it just seems so long. And maybe after 20 years, James Dyson is a multi-billionaire, one of the richest guys in UK. But when he was going through that, the amount of focus that he wanted to have, execution that he wanted to have, and the perseverance that he went through, that is something that we need to stay um, keep an eye on. We need to stay focused on, and that what gets us the excellence. Um, so I want to maybe open up to our participants today. Welcome, Hamad. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Good, good. what do you say about this whole program so far? What have you learned so far? And then we're gonna go deeper into these 3 steps today: focus, execution, and perseverance.
Uh, I learned a lot of things in the program. Basically, it was first of all, you have to find your passion, your dreams, what motivates you, what drives you, or something that you want to see done, and something that would make change for betterment of either yourself or your surroundings and everything. And then the second part of that is once you've got that goal, the dream, and everything, you have to follow it through, and then how to focus on it and persevere and never give up.
Right, right. No, that's exactly the formula. That's exactly the formula. We have Hamza today. Hamza, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum. I'm fine. What about you? How are you? It's my second session today. I missed the last session.
Yeah, it's okay. There's a recording on Facebook, and you can look at the recording also. So you were in the second program, Journey to Excellence, and now this is your
Second program.
second program, which is the Relentless Pursuit. You can follow the third program, which was Audacity to Dream Big, and you can learn a few things there. What do you, in your experience, tell me about your experiences? What are you going through, and how do you think that these principles fit for you in the situation you're in right now?
Yeah, I wanted to tell that this topic, Pursuit of Excellence, there was an event held in my college named Pursuit of Excellence. Exactly same. After my first year of college, for those students who aced their first year exams, so I was invited in it, and yeah, I have been through it. And the students who were invited were only those who achieved maximum grades in their first year of A levels. So I was one of those students, and this is this before that first year of my college, I used to see my seniors going into that event. So that was the first time I dreamed that I will also go in that event, and the only way to go in that event was to achieve the maximum grades. Like if you have 3 or 4 subjects in your AS level, then you need to ace all that. And in my exams, I aced all the 3 subjects I have, and then I was invited in that event with my parents. I went there, and we were awarded with the badges and the stars. Like who scored, I scored 3 years. I was awarded with the 3 stars on my badge. So yeah, it was the similar journey I followed. First, I dreamed about it while seeing seniors of mine going there, and then the decision was to focus on it, and I tried very hard to excel my exams, and I achieved it.
Thank you, Hamza. No, it's good stuff. Good stuff. There's another person on the line. Okay, so we're gonna move forward with this. So the first step of this relentless pursuit is focus. And here I want to maybe point out a few things. So focus is about achieving excellence one step at a time. The journey to excellence is a long journey, and you cannot achieve this excellence in one big step. You need to take small steps, and the formula to innovation, entrepreneurship, of or any big success is I'm just going to tell you in a very simple term. It's about dream big, start small, learn and scale fast. This is the whole formula of achieving excellence. So achieving excellence is about one step at a time. It's not one big step. It's about you take one step, learn through that experience, and then take another step. Um, so, Mubashir, maybe tell us from your experiences, since you run an IT company, and in IT, you follow the agile methodology also. And you recently launched a product which you have been working on, and that product become a big success. Tell us about your journey. How do you achieve this product, realization of this product?
It's a good question, because I think, interestingly for me, when I compare it to the other things I have done which did not succeed, where I had encountered failure, the key learning lesson was that, in the past, I have had some fantastic ideas, and I talked to a few people and they said, oh yeah, that would be great and we would like to have it. But before I could test the market, I started building it and created a nice big platform. And then I found out that the market wasn't there anymore. This most recent initiative, it is kind of linked with the COVID-19 to some extent as well, actually went according to what you were just explaining there. It started with a very small, simple idea, that people are going to be reluctant to touch the clipboards and pens when signatures are required, especially for legal documents, contracts, medical history forms, any kind of documents. So why don't we create something that allows those forms to be signed on people's own mobile devices, on their tablets, on their mobile phones or laptops? So we built a small working prototype and solution, sent it, and worked with a few dental practices, which has been my area of previous engagements. And lo and behold, there was demand, genuine demand, and genuine demand with people wanting to pay for it, which is very important, because anybody can say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that I think I would be interested in it. But those opinions, those comments are not very valuable unless they are accompanied by skin in the game, unless people put money into it or some sort of commitment that is their reputation or their having skin in the game. So what I learned was that, you need to have start small, iterate fast, take on board the feedback as you go along, and always think about how it's going to be scaled up, but not to be too bogged down by that. One problem at a time, solve it, and then move forward. And as you have mentioned, and this on the screen as well, success comes when you become really, really insanely good in something. So much so that everybody recognizes and acknowledges that, yeah, this is the person or the company that is really at the forefront of this particular kind of area or domain. Then customers, there's a good market fit, and you are able to solve people's problem because of that knowledge, because of that muscle, as you put it there.
No, that's very important. And just to be honest with you, myself, I struggled with this step in particular, about the focus. And many times in my life, I failed in achieving excellence because of lack of focus. I give you just one example of my failure. So in 2005 timing, I become very interested in trading stocks. And so I started to practice stocks and started to take some courses, started to read some books about stocks. And what happened is I practiced for a couple of years part-time. But when 2008 came and we have a big meltdown, and I kind of predicted that meltdown, and it was just because I was so good in predicting the market that I took my money out of the stocks, and I knew that the market is going to crash here, so I was safe. But then I lost my focus there, and when the market came back, I never participated in the market. To this date, I'm out of the market most of the time. But I lost my focus. I lost my consistency, and that has made, if I could have made lots of money and be very successful. I could have become excellent in this trading business, but I lost it because I lost that focus. Um, so there's there's a couple of things that I want to point out here. So focus is about knowing your priorities and goals, but also knowing what not to do, because you have so many different options, and choosing what not to do is also focus. Choosing what to do and what not to do. Focus is also a muscle that you need to develop and exercise, because you lose focus when you wake up. You got tons of activities, you have your cell phone, you got like a lot of priorities. So you have to stay focused, and you have to put your mind, you have to start doing some techniques. For example, keep your cell phone away from you so that you don't get distracted. Give yourself some time. When you sit down, um, only focus on delivering one thing at a time. Don't start to multitask, because that also cause the loss of focus. And focus is about developing the specialized knowledge. So I want to pick this point of the specialized knowledge. Uh, so excellence is connected to this word specialized knowledge. So specialized knowledge is about being the best, having the mastery of something. And only if you have the mastery of something, you can achieve excellence. And so I want to talk to you about 5 things to achieve or develop this specialized knowledge. Because specialized knowledge is success. Specialized knowledge is winning. If you have general knowledge, it amounts to nothing. It amounts to it has no value. So if you take a look at this, if there's a runner, the person, Carl Lewis, Ben Johnson, okay, or a lot of these runners, they specialize in 100-meter run, 100-meter races, okay. So they develop and versus there's a marathon runner also who specializes in marathon running. So there is a difference between general knowledge and specialized knowledge. How do you develop specialized knowledge? 5 things. Number 1, you develop specialized knowledge by your own experience and education. Your own experience and education is number 1. This is how you achieve this or develop specialized knowledge. Number 2 is experience and education through other people. So this group like this, where we are sitting together, is we are sharing our experiences and education. So a group like this, which is what I call a mastermind group. A mastermind group is very, very important to develop specialized knowledge, because it brings the experiences and knowledge from other people as well. Because most of the time we don't know everything. We um, we can use help from other people, and we should be open about getting help from other people. We should be intentional about getting help from other people. So the specialized knowledge is number 2, is the mastermind group. So number 1 is your own experience and knowledge. Number 2 is mastermind group. Number 3, through colleges, universities, and schools, where you learn in a very structured way. So number 3 is that. Number 4 is through books, webinars, libraries, journals, podcasts, all these different forms of knowledge where you're learning through other people. And number 5 is special training courses, okay, where you're going to get a special training. For example, if I want to get good in stocks, I want to go get a special course in stocks. If I want to get good in data science and analytics, I want to take a course in data science and analytics, very special course. So 5 things, very, very important to develop this specialized knowledge. So Mubashir, what do you think? How do you develop your specialized knowledge? What are the ways, what are these 5 ways that I talked about that you develop your specialized knowledge?
I think these are all relevant, and at one time or other, I have also used them. And I think, in my humble opinion, in today's age, it's extremely important to have a capability of learning things quickly and fast, because the pace of change, it's unprecedented. Things change so fast. I mean, I know a little bit about IT. Back in 70s, you had COBOL language, 70s, 80s, 90s, even the millennium bug, the year 2000 bug, you had COBOL programs running. So that language and Fortran, those languages were there for like 20, 30 years. And then C language, the granddad of all those computer languages, is there. But now you learn a language, and by the time you get closer to any level of proficiency, not expertise yet, a new language comes out, and it's better and faster, or designed for web or mobiles, etc., etc. So it's very important to be able to have this flexibility, the cognitive flexibility, and not the rigidity, to have the confidence that I can learn and then get about it and learn things, and unlearn the old habits. The world constantly changes. What was best practice, I'm not saying it was wrong thing that one learns, but what was best practice a few years ago is no longer the best practice. Something new, something different, something fundamentally disruptive, or we have in biology nowadays gene editing as the new breakthrough. So and in medical sciences, if I am a pathologist who is excelling in looking at slides and knowing that this slide is cancer and this slide is not cancer, with the deep learning, this is now getting to a stage where computers are becoming equal to human level. That is a big claim, but Google has proven it, and others as well. So where would I be in the next 6 months or a year or 2 years time? And there are other fields as well. So that's why it's very important to develop specialized knowledge, and yet be flexible to know that that specialized knowledge might require upgrading. When there was a time when the people who could make lanterns and candles were very much sought after. But then came electricity. So now you just need lanterns. They still are relevant in the countries where you don't have electricity or you have load shedding and disruptions. But in most of the countries where you have reliable electricity supply, you wouldn't find, if you're a specialized lantern maker, a lot of opportunities or prospects apart from niches where it's a decorative item or element. So one has to kind of constantly update according to the changing situation and marketplace as well. You are on mute, Numan.
No, this is a good point that you brought up, Mubashir, because focus is key. A specialized knowledge is key, but there's a flip side of this, which is the too much focus or too much specialized knowledge. You look at the companies like Kodak, okay? You look at companies like Nokia. You like companies who are not able to pivot, who are not able to change their focus. And that's why these companies, Polaroid is another example. These companies died because they were not able to pivot. So focus is key, but the pivot is also important. So I want to come back to maybe Hamad. What is your dream, or what are you trying to achieve, Hamad? What is your path?
I'm working with Mubashir on some of those ideas that Mubashir was now stating. One was the reading of slides via deep learning. Uh, this might not seem very important to a lot of people, but there aren't a lot of people, doctors or specialized staff available in rural areas where they can get the tests and everything done. They have to go to big cities, and sometimes in big cities there's overcrowding. So if you can get this done on a computer and everything, you won't need those specialized personnel, say for example, specialized doctors or everything. You just can get this a blood taken, put it on a slide, have it analyzed, and get the result then and there where you are. So there's lots of effort to that. So what Mubashir was saying, that things are moving extremely fast. So we're trying to tap into a specialized area, and we're trying to improve that. That's what my dream is at the moment. Yeah.
No, beautiful. Very good. So staying focused is key. Hamza, what is your focus right now, and what are you trying to do?
4 days ago, my university started, but sadly, it only lasted for 2 days as a positive case of COVID just showed up, and all the classes were suspended. But right now, previously I was learning Python. But, previously, I was learning Python. There is a portal named Alnafe. I've been learning Python from that, but I have I have not that much interest in computers and in all this coding and all. But I am learning this only because demand future, and in future all is all about artificial intelligence and data sciences and all. But few days back, I've been more into this thing Amazon, like freelancing on Amazon. I've been learning to be a virtual assistant on Amazon and giving my services to the FBA who are running their business already on that.
FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Fulfillment by Amazon. In that case, you just only manage the account. All the pick, pack, and ship is managed by Amazon. You just it's a virtual store. You will put all your inventory at Amazon's warehouse, and you will control all the orders and all, and the delivery and pick, packing will all be done by Amazon. Most people follow that.
Okay. Sure. Very good. Beautiful.
Right, right. Okay, so focus is the first step in your pursuit of excellence. So once you know your dream, you have made a decision. Now you need to focus, you need to zoom in that what is the first thing you need to do. Um, the second step of this journey is execution. So execution is about showtime. Okay, execution is about getting up every day and give your best. Um, and the process is quite simple. It's about doing, you learn from doing, you improve, and do some more. Okay, this is the whole step of iterative learning. I do something, I learn from that, I improve, I do some more. um, and in execution, the key is you just need to be present. You just need to be consistently present and pursuing your dream. um, Mubashir, what are your thoughts about execution, and how do you stay focused in executing every single day?
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to be able to do the things the right way. From my early days, I can remember when basically reflecting on my mistakes more. So there were we were engaging with a customer, and they were saying things to be done differently. And in my hubris, in my sort of self-centered approach, I was like, where are they going to go? We are the only game in the marketplace, and we don't need to listen to them, and we don't need to change our approach. They are going to come to us eventually. Well, they waited for 2 or 3 years, built their own solution, and then in a way pushed us out of the market as well. And from those battle scars, what I have learned is that you need to be focused, but also listening and execute with the key element that where things are not going well, find out the reason why they are not going well, and then improve and change and take your team with you. It's not enough that I can do things very, very well, because the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. And if any single member in my team is not able to execute very well as well, the whole process can come tumbling down at any moment. Taking it with the team, moving forward, and focusing on how do we do it very, very well, and then practicing it again and again until it becomes second nature and becomes part of the normal behavior in the whole organization. You're on mute, Naman.
No, I agree with you, because a lot of times um, we have focus and we start to do something, um, and then we stop executing. Executing is the discipline to produce. Executing is understanding your priorities, having the right plan, and executing to that plan. Okay, executing is about measuring yourself against that plan, um, and that is something that we lose focus of and we stop executing. Um, and then the third step in this the whole process is perseverance, um, because this whole journey is like a marathon. They're sprints, okay, but it's a marathon. It's a long haul. It's like you run for a long period of time. So what you need to do is you need to stay in the game, and that's the thing that we need to remember, that we need to stay in the game. The success may come in maybe 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Okay. Moshe, you talked about James Dyson's story. So 20 years, the guy worked on this thing. You look at Amazon, same thing. So you look at these big achievements, big accomplishment, they don't come immediately. They require a lot of focus, execution, but at the end, um, it's the consistency. It's about the perseverance. It's like continuing that journey no matter what. And I just want to just go back to my example where I failed um, in the stocks. I did it for maybe a couple of years. One is I did not do it as as a job or as something that I want to pursue. I was doing it as a hobby, as a second something that I want to do on the side. And when you're doing something on the side, many times it don't work because it requires a lot of focus. And the second thing is perseverance. I did not follow through. After maybe two years, I stopped. So that's something which is very, very important, which is fundamental. Um, what are your thoughts about this, Mubashir?
You have already said it. I think that's so important to stay on course. In some of the Asian countries, etc., where cricket is played, there's a phrase that "stay on the wicket, runs would come." It's very important not to get out, because once you are out of the pitch and you are back in pavilion. And if you are not on the pitch, then you cannot make runs. If you are in there day in, day out, trying your best, eventually either situation changes, a technology breakthrough happens, seismic event like pandemic, like COVID-19 happens, a government legislation comes, any X number of factors can happen. And some of them, if you are clever, if you are smart, if you are agile, you are learning, always listening, always adjusting, you can use it for your to your own favor. Just today, I was reading about the WhatsApp story. And in the early days, WhatsApp version 1.0 was a dismal failure because they had set it up so that people can check what was the status of the people. And it wasn't going to work, but that's back in 2007, 2008 when iPhone was introduced with iOS. But then what happened was that Apple introduced push notifications, and suddenly people were able to change their status, and that message could be pushed to other people in their groups, and people started to use it in that new context, etc. So if Combe and Acton, these guys had given up after the first failure of WhatsApp version 1.0, we wouldn't have seen it being acquired for, I think it was like $19 billion a few years later. There you have it. Noman, you are mute.
No, you're right about this. But you know, this is where the most important thing is. I come back and I close this with the mindset, because the mindset it is where you make that winning or failure. If you think you failed and you're quit, okay, then you quit. But if in your mindset you continue, you just keep going. This is why I wrote this, that no man is ever whipped until he quits in his own mind. So if in his own mind he feels that he quits, then he quit. Okay, if it's in his own mind, he tells him that I can go, I can win, I can be successful, because that's where the game starts. You know, the minute that where the mind tells you no, there's too much work, there's too much pain, that's where the game starts. You know, the game does not start when you make the decision or when you think about the dream. So that's where the game starts. So I want to share something interesting with you. Vince Lombardi, one of the legendary football coach. I think he's one of the most successful football coaches in the history of football. And he's regarded as one of the top leaders and thought leaders because of what he did. So I want to discuss something from one of his saying is, gentlemen, we are going to relentlessly chase perfection. So pay attention to the words here. Gentlemen, we are going to relentlessly chase perfection, knowing full well we will not catch it. Okay? But nothing is perfect. But we relentlessly chase it, because in the process we will catch excellence. And I'm remotely interested in just being good. So there's a couple of thoughts that are coming to my mind. One is the word relentless. So connecting the start of the program where it says the relentless pursuit of excellence, is the relentless chase or the relentless pursuit is fundamental. It's about this unwavering pursuit. Like, is every day you get up and deliver, every day you get up and do, every day you get up and learn, every day you get up and improve. This is fundamental, relentless. Achieving excellence comes over time. And this is fundamental. And so the other word is perfection. Perfection is like a lighthouse. That perfection is something that you see, and then you move towards this perfection. So every day when you get up, you have your goal, you have your purpose, you have your desire, your big dream, and you're moving towards that, and that acts as a lighthouse. Because when you're moving towards that, you will catch this excellence, you will achieve this excellence. And this last word sentence he's saying is I think is remarkable, is I'm remotely interested in just being good, because average is not good. Average, you need to be the best. And that's where the people who are winning are the people who are not average. The people who are winning are the people who are significant, who are remarkable, who are excellent. And that's what the winning is all about. Um, what do you get out of this, Mubashir? Share your thoughts.
Yeah, I think this is a really, really interesting story as well. If I remember correctly, Vince was of the Italian immigrant parents, and I think his own story is also a case study in perseverance. He didn't get to be a coach until, I mean, he was rejected many times until he got a chance, and then he started building from there. And as you were mentioning, I think one of the other sentences from his biography and notes that you shared that comes to my mind is, practice does not make perfect. You know, there is a sentence, practice makes perfect. He says, practice does not make perfect. Only perfect practice makes perfect. So you have to do the right practice as well. If you want to become perfect, you have to focus on what you are practicing that you want to become perfect in. But yeah, I think good is the enemy of great. And people who just get satisfied with the first set of results and performance are not going to strive that much further, not going to do that extra mile that kind of takes them to their next level and pushes them to their own optimal best outcome. Um, and you know, there's something to be said about striving to improve constantly, but also at the same time, when people say that, well, I must give my 110%, you should also take some pride in the 100% or 98% or 92% that has been done. So there is a kind of a take a deep breath, marvel at the achievements that have been done, and where you have come from and where you have arrived at, so that you can actually enjoy and get satisfaction in the success, and then from there onwards build up for the next level. But not that I must be 120%, because then, you know, that's not perhaps a fulfilled life. And quite a few times people might end up going towards depression, that, oh, I'm not achieving the 120% that I am setting myself up for, not realizing that they are already at 95%, which is quite remarkable in any case. So yeah, but I think Vince's story is really good example of relentless chase of excellence. Nothing is perfect, but if you try to get there, if you aim at a higher peak, you're going to get somewhere. So aim higher is better than, you know, aiming at a mediocre level. Mediocrity doesn't get anywhere. If you are trying something, then let's go for it.
Right. I think the word I like to bring up is the word progress. So perfection is a lighthouse. Perfection is where you are going. But we need to pay attention on the progress. Are we making progress? Are we learning, and are we moving forward? I think that is very key, because that brings the motivation, that brings the inspiration to move forward, to continually move forward, and that is fundamental. So with this, I like to close here our this 4-part series. But I want to bring maybe something very exciting um, uh, as we are moving forward, because in the next couple of months, October and November timing, we're talking about creativity and innovation. And Mubashir, tell us about these 4 programs that we're going to be doing in October and November.
Yes, I'm hugely excited about this series as well. Basically, in today's world, the most important commodity or asset, I would say, the most important trait or characteristic individually, for teams, for departments, for organizations, is to be able to be creative and be innovative. As more and more systems get automated with artificial intelligence or just plain automation, the one thing that we humans are good at, which I suppose computers are a little bit away from at the moment, is being innovative, thinking outside the box, or in some cases, thinking inside the box as well, being able to bring in new insights and perspectives and innovating. So I think basically this is part of the series that's going to grow forward in future as well. And it's really exciting and interesting in the sense that there is a little bit of a theory part to it, maybe 30-40% of discussion. And then there are actual exercises or games or interactive engagement processes that in a safe environment would allow us to practice our creative thinking muscle. It is like a muscle. The more you practice it, the more you can build it. So we will look at some of these things, like what are the barriers to creativity and how to overcome them? How can we enhance creativity? What are the creative thinking processes and tools and techniques and frameworks? So really, really exciting and interesting and fun-filled, hopefully fun-filled series coming up.
Right. So October 3rd, barriers to creativity. October 17th, enhancing creativity. November 7th, creative thinking process. November 21st, creative thinking techniques. 4 blockbuster programs. Again, first and third Saturday of the month, we go live. We're gonna give you a Zoom link, connect through the Zoom link, or join us on the Facebook. Um, and so last thing is, Hamza, just want to catch up with you about your learning so far, and what do you think?
Yeah, it's been a really great 2 sessions with you, and as a youngster and a teenager, I have learned a lot of things. Basically, the today's session, the pursuit of excellence. I have experienced it on a shorter scale, but now, after attending the whole session, I have been thinking on to implement it on a big scale, as I have been doing something like Python and Amazon. Basically, on Amazon, my goal is to build my own asset, and by me asset by mean that first I'll have to provide freelancing to the people who are already running their businesses, and after gathering the amount, which is a very large amount to build a business. So in order to build that, I have to follow that path, the dream, the focus, perseverance, and the fourth one, I am forgetting the fourth one. So basically, yes, I have learned a lot of and these things from these 2 sessions, and I'll surely catch the third session which I missed on Facebook.
Right. No, thank you, Hamza, and all of you for joining. From my side, it's a pleasure. I love talking about these topics and creating value for everyone and for me also. Mubashir, any concluding comments from your side?
I think entrepreneurship, leadership, innovation are important aspects, and hopefully these conversations are going to make some difference for others, but more importantly for our own selves as well, because it helps to be reminded of the key components and elements. And sometimes we get so riled up and in a whirlpool of daily living and challenges and problems and solving them, etc., that one can easily forget what's important. It's crucial to keep in mind and do the right thing and focus on, doing the right things first, rather than the aspects of whatever comes our way. We are just going to be blowing with the wind here or there. Success comes when you have some sort of a goal or destination and you are consistently working towards it.
Right. So thank you, everyone. And thanks for joining. And we'll see you back on October 3rd, Barriers to Creativity. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.